A great iPad stand can bring another dimension to your iPad. And we've tested many of them on this channel, but the one that I keep coming back to is the CharJenPro Magflött. It's an iPad stand that puts all of the gimmicks to one side and just focuses on simplicity and elegance. Its sturdy aluminium design colour matches perfectly with any Apple setup in space grey or silver. It's always had the most reliable and elegant magnetic connection, and it's genuinely encouraged me to use my iPad in completely different ways. That's why when CharJenPro reached out to me and asked whether I'd like to take a look at the prototypes of their new models, the Magflött Pro and the VESA Mount stand, I said yes immediately. I couldn't wait to get my hands on them. And to be clear, this isn't a sponsored video. I'm not receiving anything as payment for talking about these stands. I have to actually send these prototypes back to CharJenPro once I'm done with them. But spoiler alert, I have put a pre-order in for one of them, and if you stick around to the end of the video, you'll see exactly why that is. As I say, the original Magflött stand did set the standard for iPad stands across the board, and so you've got to ask, how can the Magflött Pro improve on that? Well, for a start, the original Magflött wasn't height adjustable. That meant if you were using it with a monitor, it wasn't quite level, you'd find yourself having to constantly change your viewing angle. The Magflött Pro can extend all the way up to a height of about 18.7 inches in portrait mode. All you have to do is loosen the screw at the back of the stand and you can set the height to whatever is comfortable for you. And not only does this mean reduced neck strain if you're particularly tall, but it makes it an even better experience to play along with music on your iPad or just use it as a standalone desk with a keyboard and mouse. Another slight issue with the original Magflött was that although you could rotate it 360 degrees, there was a hard stop, so you wouldn't be able to continuously rotate in a circle. With the Magflött Pro though, that's all gone and you can actually just endlessly rotate your screen forever. Now, that might not seem a particular deal breaker, but I do think that if you're using this in an office environment where you want to be collaborative and share views of your iPad screen across the desk to somebody else, this might come in really handy. And I could also see this being a super useful addition to something like a pop-up shop where you're using your iPad as a checkout. The Magflött stand could look really cool in that aesthetic and also be incredibly practical for flipping between the customer and yourself to do things like check items on an inventory. In my opinion though, the absolutely best use case for these iPad stands is when you're using your iPad as a companion to a desktop setup. Ever since Apple released Universal Control, i.e. the ability to control your iPad and your Mac with a single keyboard and mouse, it's been an incredible addition for productivity and general enjoyment in your desk setup. And this is where I've got so much use out of the original Magflött over the past year or so. But to be honest, the experience is absolutely nothing compared to the new VESA Mount. CharJenPro have taken that magnetic paddle from the top of their stand and attached it to a VESA Mount. It's an incredibly elegant solution that can really elevate the way you use your iPad within a desk setup. This is my first attempt at using a VESA mount and I found it really easy to set up. I went with this one because I thought it looked quite industrial but still sleek, and that felt like it was part of the CharJenPro aesthetic as well. And the silver finish kind of colour matches with my Mac Mini and my MacBook. The Magflött mount actually comes with these ridge screws, which makes it incredibly easy to attach to the arm. That was by far the easiest part of the entire assembly process. And once it's on there, you'll be able to rotate your iPad in the same way as the Magflött stand itself. But you have this added dimension of being able to set the iPad stand to exactly the right height for your monitor and for your experience. If you're ever worried about leaving your iPad at a height like this, you really don't have to because the magnets are so strong. You can even leave your iPhone with a MagSafe case attached to the VESA mount here. We've all got monotonous parts to our day-to-day jobs, and so it's brilliant to just have a video podcast up there if you're churning through that work. But when you do have to concentrate, you can get on some music, take advantage of the iPad's brilliant speakers. I also find it incredibly useful if you're trying to learn something on an app like Photoshop or Premiere Pro. You can just get up a Skillshare course on your iPad, or just, make daft images on Midjourney, like this one of Mo Salah in the style of Dragon Ball Z, and bring them straight over to your computer using those universal control features. So if you couldn't already tell, it is the VESA mount stand that I've actually pre-ordered for myself, and I really recommend that you go over to the CharJenPro website, take a look at all of the stands they've got available. It's a really cool way to just bring an extra bit of life to your iPad. And if you want to get some more inspiration on how you could use the original Magflött, then check out this video here, and I'll see you in a bit.